Hello again. I'm here with another piece of fan art. I'm calling this one "The War Begins." It's of Charlie and Emily from episode 6, "Welcome to Heaven," and it's during the song "You Didn't Know." Um, my initial thoughts on episodes 5 and 6 of Has Been are once again, just like with all the others, really awesome. I think it's well worth the wait. I think if you go into the series knowing that they only had episodes to work with, you can kind of deal with the uh, pacing of it. I like the fact that we were able to see more of Heaven outside of the Cherub episode from Hell of a Boss, so that was pretty cool. I did notice a few Easter eggs and callbacks in this episode. So for episode 5, we have Charlie's little office conspiracy board that's on the fireplace. My son, I recognized what it was, but my oldest son, who watches it with me, was, oh, it's the meme. So he doesn't even know it from the show. He knows it from a meme. But so that was it, and I thought that was funny. In the same scene, you see Husk pouring a drink in a mug that says "Fuck Mondays." That is a Easter egg because if you bought the early access on A24 during the Q&As, if you watch the Q&A video, you notice Vivian has the exact same coffee mug. So I thought that was kind of funny. Everyone's pointed this out, but I have a little bit more to add to it. I actually ended up having to play the song "The Devil Went Down in Georgia" and explaining why Lucifer having the golden fiddle was so hilarious to me because my oldest son did not get the reference at all. Um, I noticed, and a lot of people have noticed that Mimsy has a tattoo on her back. It's a Maman symbol, and that leads me to like a couple of questions. One, does she have the tattoo because she like Fizzarolli until the end of episode 7, idolized Maman? Is if your sin, like why you went to hell in the Hellverse, is because of a specific sin, do you have a mark of that sin showing that's why, seeming how the sinners aren't allowed to leave the Pride Ring, but the other rings have souls as their monetary thing. So, like, there's a bunch of questions about the soul currency thing, how that works. Or do each of the sins have a representative that best represents them? Like, you know how you have Heaven's Embassy? Do each of the rings, the other rings, have a embassy for them? So that's something I've been messing around with, trying to like wonder why. Um, For episode 6, you have Molly in the song Welcome to Heaven, and I thought that was pretty cool because, like Mimsy, a lot of people wanted to see Molly, so it was fun to see her. And the next callback from episode 6, the only other one I could find, is when Charlie reveals that they have a patron, and it's Angel Dust, and Adam goes, the pouring demon? It's kind of reminiscent of the pilot when Charlie's having the interview with Tom Trench, Katie Killjoy, and she goes, well, we have a guest, Angel Dust, he's been clean. I think she says 2 weeks in the pilot. I can't remember. And then I believe it's Tom who goes, the porn star? So that was a cool little callback, and I thought that was kind of funny. And I also think that's why they brought in Cherry because, well, on top of that, like everybody was wondering when we're going to see Cherry this season. But the other thing is if you watch the pilot when she's doing that, it automatically cuts to the turf war between Cherry and Serpentius with uh, Angel backing Cherry. Um, so those were my Easter eggs and thoughts of the Easter eggs, and now here are my random thoughts I've had for the episodes. Uh, the first thought I had after finding out Charlie had been up all night is, wow, I hope the hotel has decaf. If not, they may want to swap over to decaf because Charlie is way too hyper. Um, the other thing is when Lucifer reveals his fantastic backflipping duck that spits fire, my brain automatically went to Arthur Weasley from the Harry Potter movies, going, "What is the function of a rubber duck?" So I've been wanting somebody on YouTube to edit a video of him saying that and then just cutting straight to Lucifer's backflipping duck that spits fire. I don't care if it's poorly edited. I don't care if it's just literally what I described. I would just love to see it made reality. So if anybody out there in the void wants it, have it happy. Um, Here we go. I loved Alistair and Lucifer's pissing contest. That's my favorite. That is now my like in my top six favorite songs so far. For has been fighting in the top three now. So I like that. And when Alistair dresses up as the nun, I didn't think anything of it until like my second viewing of episode five, but I was like, I would pay good money to see a version of Sister Act with instead of Whoopi Goldberg, it's Alistair as a nun. I would really pay good money to see that. And that led to me wondering throughout the episode if, especially after when Alistair asks Mimsy to leave, is if he believes in Charlie herself. Not like he doesn't believe he can be redeemed. He knows what he's done. He knows what he is. He does not believe he can be redeemed in any way, shape, or form. But does he believe in Charlie? That's what I'm wondering. Um, the only thing I didn't like from episode five was the change from in the pilot when Baggies give. I liked Mimsy telling the backstory of Alistair because that was cool having someone that he kind of knew do it. But I don't like where in the pilot when Baggy's doing the backstory, she goes, "The sinners start calling him the radio demon," as lazy as that is. So that kind of and changing that to him calling himself the radio demon, I didn't like that. I liked it better with the sinners doing it because it fits the whole entire he was a serial killer thing. Because 9 out of 10 serial killers they don't make their monikers like the co-ed killer, Jack the Ripper, stuff like that. It's usually given by media. In the case of Jack the Ripper, yes, he's the one who called himself Jack the Ripper. But usually the monikers that the serial killers have um, aren't they don't give it to themselves. The media gives it, like Zodiac. That would have been a better one to use. So that's why I don't like it that he's the one who gave it to him. I always liked it like his prowess made the others give him that name. Um, but also when Alistair says fuzzy head to Husk when Husk is trying to warn him about Mimsy, for some reason I noticed it the first time I watched it, and it was confirmed the other two times I watched it. The way he says fuzzy head kind of reminds me of Millie saying it to Moxie when Millie talks about how Moxie has a fuzzy head. And so that was a bit odd, but it also makes sense because their voice director is Richard Horvitz, Moxie. So yeah, that makes sense. Um, Thoughts on episode six are first thought is from my son. He read the description of episode six because we thought we were crazy that it was dropped Thursday night instead of Friday, like we thought. Is instead of COME, it should have been the other one because it was in the description that's talking about angel dust. So he thought it was a missed opportunity to make a little pun. Um, for I thought Pentious was absolutely adorable in this. I loved his my arch rival anime thing because it kind of reminded me of Team Rocket. And I have to admit, I didn't like Pentious in the episode. I really didn't. I thought he was annoying and grating, and I kind of hoped Alistair killed him with the tendrils and stuff. But now that we have him, he's such this cute little sweetheart, and it makes you wonder why he was in hell in the first place. Short of he's from the Victorian era when child labor was a thing, so I'm going child labor. So I didn't like him in the pilot. Love him now. Think he's adorable. Love the Team Rocket thing with my arch rival. Just really remind me of Team Rocket. I did not like Loot without the mask. I thought if Loot was to be revealed without the mask, she would be like Calhoun from Wreck-It Ralph, where like the hardened warrior face, which would fit with the whole entire Exorcist, been killing sinners for X number of years. Who knows how long Loot's been doing it? Especially for Adam's lieutenant, I would have liked a more hardened butch female soldier. And I'm not saying that all female soldiers are like that. Some of them are very soft looking, very ladylike. I'm not saying that like if you're a female fighting for any military, you got to be like He-Man. But for Adam's right hand wingman, pun intended, um, I would have liked a more hardened battle soldier, not a anime waifu. Um, like I said before, I loved seeing Molly and Welcome Home. And speaking of that song, uh, Welcome Home gave me very Duloc vibes from Shrek. And if you've ever seen Shrek, I know you know the story that the song I'm talking about. It's the Duloc. It's a small world thing. So Welcome Heaven was definitely giving me that vibes, but more boy band. Whereas for Duloc, it's a small world esque. Um, and the last thing is, I know a lot of people have been complaining about Cherry, how Cherry egging Angel on was out of character for her. But the thing is after you see that episode and you think back to the pilot, and I haven't seen Addict yet, so I'm not going to give any input on her reactions in Addict. But from what I've seen, especially of the shots of her in it also kind of goes with this, where Cherry has always been the devil on Angel's shoulders and has made it so that way he can't get out. And so, like, it doesn't really, I don't really find it as out of place, I guess, as everybody else. Hindsight being 2020 and that stuff. So the next video will be Rosie, and that's going to be for my thoughts on episode 7 and 8. Then I'm going to do a random one, and that'll be my thoughts of the season 1 as a whole. If you liked my art, tolerate my rambling, like and subscribe, and thank you. Hello again. I wasn't so sure if I mentioned this with my huge voiceover part. The reason why the great majority of this picture, short of the details, the rest of Emily's arm sleeves, the only recording is my computer decided to completely and totally crash, and I had to reset it, making me lose the rest of the recording. So, um, sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed the rest of what I've done. I really wanted to get this out, and hopefully I can make it work. It's not going to be the pain in the buttness that this has been in and of itself, but it's still going to come out good. So, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe.